Hey, welcome to Adventures with Peps. We are on part 2 of designing Sector 102. Today, I am sitting here mere feet away from the new Warlord Games Block War box set. And before we dive into that, I want to do the Dan Abnett Block using the Games Workshop Games Master book to design it. And then I'm hoping, from what I've read about the Warlord Games Block War supplement, I hopefully can take some of the ideas that we get from this and transfer it over to those newer rules, and it will help design the block. So if you happen to have this book at home, well done. I'm happy for you. It's a great book full of great stuff. We are on page 62, Sectors and City Blocks. Talks about sectors. We won't go too far into it. Talks about city blocks, talks about planning a block, and here's a rough picture of what a couple look like. So this is the Boris Becker block of Sector 173. It's next to a con app, which I think is both of these. So you can see the significant difference. How that's going to work in the new Warlord Games version, I'm excited to see. But here we go. Creating a block. Hang on, my desk is a bit of a mess. Let's try and tidy this up. There we go. Now we can see what we're doing. I'm using a dice roller this time, so you'll be able to watch what I'm up to. Put that there. Right, so creating a block. The following tables can be used to generate the bare bones of a typical block. So we have, our choices are the pre-atomic war, the pre-apocalypse war, the post-apocalyptic war, or the con-apt. Right, I'm going to ignore this column. It's the little buildings. I don't want a little building. I want a decent amount. So pre-atomic, I don't think we're going to go for that. Pre-apocalypse or post-apocalypse. I'm going to go post-apocalypse, just because I know all the Warlord Games judges obviously have the Mark II pistol, which means they're post-apocalypse. So we know it is in Sector 102, so we'll write that down. And its name is going to be Dan Abnett, because that is who I'm basing all the characters off. It is going to be a post-apocalypse war. So we'll write that in there. Post-apoc war. We can get rolling. So a D20. Whoop. 16 times 50. Wow. Math. We've already dived headlong into the math. What did I get? 16 times 50. Geez, 800 levels. That's a lot of levels. Maybe that's too many levels. 800. That is a huge tower block. Wow, I have to roll? Nah. Okay, we're gonna assume this D6 times 25 is just a generic. So 4 times, there's 100 people per level. 100 people a level. For a max population of 8,000. Oof, that's a lot though still. Right, service roads. We get D4 plus 2 service roads. So we're going to have 4 service roads. Service roads. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they are going to be on D100 times 2. So we'll have to go 1, 2. So the first one is on, it's 91 times 2 is 182. 22 times 2, 44. That's a nice easy bit of math. 100, so that's on 200. And 91, that's 182 again, we'll re-roll. 87, 160, 174. There we go. Great. This is easy so far. Got the hang of this now. Since we did the sector block, I actually understand what I'm doing. So, hoverport. We get D3 minus 1. So we're going to roll a D4. If we get a 4, it becomes a 2. And yeah, we'll go from there. So we get 4, 2, 1 hoverport. That was easy. It is on level D100 plus 400. So we want 2 of them. 37 plus 400. It's on level 437. Right. Skyrail station, we get D3 minus 2. So let's get rid of these. D3 minus 2. We got a 2 minus 2. There is 0. There's no Skyrail station. Elevators, there's a ton of them. It's 2d10 plus 10. 1, 2. Say 16, there's 26 elevators. Not that you need to know that realistically. Stairs, D4 minus 1. It's 3 sets of stairs. Cross out that, there's no sky station. Ramps, D3 plus 1. We'll do that again. Call that a 2. Becomes a 3. There are 3 ramps. 1, 2, 3. And they are 3d20s. 1, 2, 3. So 15, 13, and 7. They're all on the ground floors pretty much. We have block parks. A D2. So we'll roll a D6 and half it. We got 3. No, that doesn't make sense. We got 2. Can't do math. And that's a D20 times 50. So 7 5s, 25, 30, 33, 50. And the second one, we already got a 7. 9, that's level 450. Wow. Then we get the shopping mall. D4 minus 1. Whoop. So 1. And that is on level D12 times 50. They love this times 50 malarkey. So 250. We then get a med center. Med center is going to be, hang on, I'm losing. Shopping mall is D4 minus 1. Med center is D2 minus 1. I want at least 1. So we might ignore, okay, we're going to ignore that. We get 1 med center. I have a med droid that I've already built. I want it to be a part of my block. That is on level 100. Then we have a school. Plenty of schools. D2 plus 1. 1 plus 1, we get 2 schools. And they're D4 100s. Oh, can I just... Look at this. We're getting fancy now. Roll. Oh. Okay. That was not what I thought it was going to do. Wah wah. Apply. So, D10, 67 for the first one. 67, 77, 82, 99, 124 for the first one. Oh, I've got to do this again. Wow. 52. 88 makes it 140. 196. 225. Then we have the library. Get one library. That's easy enough. And it's a D300. 34. That would be 20. So 34, 54. 143. And then last but not least is the penthouse area. D4 minus 1. 1. 0 penthouses. Amazing. So, there you go. Let's see. So, Dan Abnett Block. Let's have a quick overview. It's a post-apocalyptic block. 800 levels. Roughly 100 people per level for a grand total of 8,000. 4 service roads, 1 hoverport, 26 elevators, 3 sets of stairs, 3 ramps. What came after ramps? Oh, parks. 2 parks, 1 shopping mall, 1 med centre, 2 schools, 1 library, and a penthouse. I'm going to draw this up, and we will be right back. Hey, we are back. Look at that. It's not as exciting as a sector house. I realised that whilst I was drawing it. It is just like a giant skyscraper at the end of the day. I also realised awkwardly that nearly everything that we rolled up was in probably this lower half of the block. So I added a few extra bits in, and we'll quickly go through over everything. So it's located in Sector 102. It's the Dan Abnett Block. Total population 8,000. Inside there's 26 elevators and 3 staircases. And then we're going to start at the top and work our way down. So level 800 to probably around 750 is the sports stadium, the Munch Aerodome. I imagine it's like a jetball team, like the comic strips. I forget what it was. Oh, my days. Back in the 80s, there was the original Giant, and he was part of a sports team, and they played aero ball. It was a good strip. I'll have to dig it up and see if I can reread it. Then we have a couple of levels where I imagine the slightly richer live, but there's no proper penthouse in this building. We then have a few floors which represent the Museum of the 20th Century. You get all the classic stuff. There's a section for friends. There's I guess probably a Conan the Barbarian cartoon section. There's going to be an Arnold Schwarzenegger section. All the classics are going to be in there. I'm also going to assume that's probably where a few copies of Dan Abnett's Gaunt Ghost manuscripts came up that affected the block and made them go down this weird route. Then, talking of routes, a few levels down at 650 to 625, we have the nightclub level. This is where everyone goes to party. The club is called Groot's Roots. I can just imagine it being like a Birmingham nightclub, just playing proper old school music. We then have a Boing Palace. I love Boing. I imagine this is just like a giant pinball machine. People can enclose themselves in Boing and bounce to their heart's content. They have a mini smokatorium. This is not a healthy block. They love a good cigarette still. Over here we got the Sky Surfers and Backglider level. They take off and land just above the hoverport. So this is a health and safety nightmare. But as you can imagine, it keeps it all on one side, which is a lot more pleasant for everyone. We also have a giant Sector 102 signpost going on there. Then across from the hoverport, we've got level 450, which has been turned into a woodland park. The park itself is known as the Tanith Park. Beneath that, we've got the Blue Blood City Death campgrounds. They have this giant exhaust vent as well because they're always letting off smoke bombs. So they have to have a way to vent it out. It's also where the defense systems are for the block. So I imagine in here there's some like anti-missile weaponry. Might even be a tactical nuke hiding away in here. It's a scary region that maybe we'll explore one day. Then we have the next park level, which spreads across the entire block. So the Tanith Park, it's only like a third. It's trees. It's hard to look after. It's a lot smaller. Whereas this park is the Menzoid Park level. It goes across the entire block. I imagine there's beaches. There's going to be like a fake ocean going on in there. There's greenery. There's classic parks. There's places to go have a romantic walk and a boat ride. We then have the open promenade plaza. This is just where citizens can walk, lots of open space, lots of benches, place to relax. Then, a few more levels down, this is where everything crunches in, thanks to our dice rolling. So we have the Vergast Mall. This is where most of my games are going to be set, because I'm trying to build a mall. I've been trying to build one for like 4 years now. It's getting a bit beyond a joke. But most of my things are going to be set in there. So this is going to be where the gangs fight. It's where the citizens hang out and get their kidney hut. It's where the fatties are always hanging out. Coming off this, you have the Fortis Binary School. This is the main school in the block. This is where all the kids will go at some point to do their education, for what it's worth. Also at this level, we pretty much have all the roads coming in and out. We've got the North Line over here. We've also got the South Line straight underneath it. Rolled very close for these two roads. Hence, they're built on top of each other. And I just assumed one's going in, one's going out. So they go across this way. Then there's another road which is going this way, which is the East Line. Then the final road, which is a lot closer to the bottom, is the West Line. We have the vehicle parks are around here. The Monfrax Library is tucked around here somewhere. It's probably just above the hospital in my mind. We have the Spaten House Hospital, which is from Eisenhorn, if anybody wondered where that one came from. We also have the entrance all the way down here. Now, as you can probably see, ton of windows, and then we hit here, and there's the big windows for the hospital and the library area. But otherwise, there's no windows. This section, to me, is the slums. Even though there's some important stuff down here, it is going to be the more slum area. So we got the Voltus School is down here as well. This is the lower class. So I imagine this is actually Blood Pack territory as well. Because it's so low, they didn't see the point of putting windows in. It's usually dark down here. There's just the electronic lights lighting up the ground floor. It's a big tall building, casts a shadow. It's just surrounded probably in darkness and electronic lights. It's going to look very Blade Runner-esque in my mind. So that's why there's no windows down there. Anyway, that is now the block. We have a block. What is the next step? The next step is I'm going to crack open the block war box. Using the info that I've got from building this, we are going to design this block once again, but for Warlord games. Plus side is I won't have to draw it, but we will work out the stats and all the other cool stuff that we can do. And hopefully that'll be in tomorrow's video. I'm trying to do them back to back so it makes sense. So hopefully you'll tag along. Remember to give me a like, a subscribe and all that good stuff. And then, to finish off this video, a little teaser of an upcoming model that I'm going to paint. Technically, it's Chief Judge Carl from the Mongoose range. But I think he's going to be my sector chief. So yeah, hope you enjoyed, hope you liked, and I will see you next week. Cheers for watching.